When we talk about that of the Great Awakening, there are many different levels of vibration we can look at towards what's going on right now in the world. And you can have a certain awareness of the conspiracy theories, some of which are turning out to be true. That can happen from a high vibrational place, a low vibrational place, from a place of fear, or from a place of awareness. There's many different perspectives, and when we learn how to become aware of them, that's one of the most powerful states, because then we can choose and we can change our energy like that. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron, and I help people expand their consciousness. Now, on this video, I want to share with you a little bit about my interpretation of the different levels of consciousness. And before we get in it, because some of it might sound a little bit like we're talking down to certain people or certain perspectives, levels of consciousness isn't about us, like somebody being at a higher level being like, look at me, I'm at love, unconditional love, and look at you all the way down there just in wheeliness trying to have personal development and stuff. No, it's more like the scale doesn't necessarily go up, it goes like this. It goes more to where there's the different levels, and it's not like a scale of hierarchy necessarily. And that many times is also a trap. Then we get into what's called a spiritual ego, and we say, I'm so high vibe and nobody understands me. There's a lot of people that are asleep right now, which is actually pointing down at people and kind of a way of elevating one's sense of self-worth. This is going to come from a place of my interpretation of this. Take this for what it will. There's different levels of vibration. Now, this is from the book called Power versus Force. It's called The Scale of Consciousness, and you'll see emotions at the bottom that are considered low vibrational emotions. They feel not so great to feel. They slow down the vibration from the lower vibe states as shame, fear, anger, guilt. It's very hard to manifest what they want. There's a lot of resistance at that level, a lot of cortisol pumping through the system, a lot of sense of survival from that level as well. Then you'll see that of neutrality. Neutrality is being able to observe. You'll see that of acceptance and willingness. That's when we start to get into like the personal development and therapy type work. Then you'll see reasoning. This is the intellect of the mind. This is where we may do a lot of the work on this YouTube channel. It's beliefs create reality. Change your beliefs, change your life. Understanding why certain things are there. And then love is the level above that. And then joy, peace, and enlightenment. So everything has a different rate of vibration. Some people use muscle testing. I choose to do it more from an intuitive place of just understanding it. It's a way for the logical mind to understand kind of what's going on right now. Now, first off, with everything going on in the world, we could see that there's a lot of people are waking up. Let me say that as well. I know that this sounds kind of esoteric and conspiracy theory-ish, but a lot of what's going on right now is kind of like smoke and mirrors. It looks a certain way in the world. It's stay in your house. Oh my goodness, all of this stuff happens on the outside. Listen to this. First off, let me just share this with you. I find this very interesting. There is, I watched a video the other day of a doctor saying that doctor was told by I forget exactly who was telling them, but they got a letter that said anybody that is of a certain age that passes away, mark them as having the thing that's going around right now in the world. That was one thing. The other thing is there's been different media companies, literally certain media companies have been caught setting up a scene with like a camera, and then having like people in I was watching it yesterday, it was like, wow, they're really going that far. People on like a stretcher running through the hospital, going through these aisles and then going into this certain room, and there was like a camera set up, and it was like a movie scene. And there was also somebody that broke into that of a hospital, and what happened, I know this is kind of off topic of what we're meant to be talking about, but I thought it was so interesting, I just kind of wanted to share it. Someone broke into a hospital and took video of an empty hospital with nobody else in it when they claimed that all the hospitals in this certain area were completely packed and full, when in fact they were packing it into one hospital. So then when they did the news and stuff, it looked very, very busy, and like there was just not enough resources to go around. Other media companies have been found using the scenes and the video footage from Italy, using it here so that then people think that this is going on here, and they've been proven, nope, this is from Italy, hospital in Italy. So it's very interesting some of the things that's going on. Many people are starting to question what's going on in the world right now, seeing that there might be other stuff going on behind the scenes, or kind of like being aware of the manipulation in a way. Now, in a way, what the media is doing when it comes to the Great Awakening, what the Great Awakening is, by the way, is the Great Awakening is the vibration of the planet raising and us becoming more aware as a collective consciousness. For a long time, we've lived in fear and anger and survival mode. And when we're in survival mode, guess what happens? It's extraordinarily easy for us to look to authority. It's extraordinarily easy for us to be obedient. And when we're in fear and anger, we're not really aware of our true power. So that's how it's kind of been. There's been this power dynamic where there's people that understood kind of what I'm sharing, and they understood the power dynamics. And it's like, hey, if we keep people dumb in fear and anger, then guess what? That's where they're going to stay. And then what we can do is orchestrate, and we can facilitate all the resources to go to certain places, to us, to the elite. And it's very dark stuff, actually, the more you look into it. But that's why I'm making this video. I want to share the different levels of consciousness so that we don't get trapped in some of the low vibrational things that it can sometimes happen. But basically what's happening is this is Great Awakening. So many people are waking up right now. It is incredible to see. And what is happening is the people that have had the power for a long time, call them this elite group or whatever we want to call it, they're doing and pulling out little card tricks, these little things up their sleeve to try to like dumb down the vibration of the planet. So the idea is, oh, if we do something with 5G, if we do this, if we do that, then we can control a mass amount of people. It's not going to work though. We are coming together, we're doing group meditations, we're doing things like that raises the vibration of the planet. Now, and as that happens, more and more people are becoming aware. So it's a very powerful time that we live in right now. Now, what is happening though is the media, it's completely manipulated. We look out, we think there's a lot to be fearful of. It keeps people in fear and anger, which keeps them looking to authority, keeps them in their houses, and it's working according to plan there. So that, I would say, is one perspective of what's happening. Then there's a mid-level perspective. This is where we learn how to neutralize. So you'll see on the scale of consciousness, I kind of want to move this a little bit closer so you can see a little bit more. Let me see. You'll see that then there is, okay, let me move this closer too. So you kind of see these little, okay, yeah, I'm kind of far away now, but you guys kind of get the idea. So what we have is we have the mid-levels right here. You have reasoning, willingness, acceptance, neutrality. Reasoning, this is where we become a little more intellectual. We start to question things and reasoning. Neutrality is where we learn how to observe what's happening right now without being too emotionally engaged in it, which is very tempting, I know. And there's a powerful step though when we learn how to observe what's happening. And the thing is too, is if we're constantly watching the media and the news, which is just projecting out a sense of fear, then that's calibrating us and tuning us to that frequency, to that energy. And then we're feeling it, wondering, why do I feel this way? So one of the first steps to this whole process is becoming aware. Let me say that as well. The more aware you become, the more you can then choose how you feel. Now, when it comes to the Great Awakening as well, there is then also an upper level, which is love, joy, peace, enlightenment, which would be understanding that it's all perfect. It's all a part of a divine plan. It's all part of a process. And it's accepting of that. And it's knowing that we're all connected as well. So let me share with you a little bit more about the conspiracy theories, which are proving, many of them are proving to be that of true. Is it a conspiracy theory that the whole structure system of the media that was projecting the Italy footage here? No, that's actually something that happened. Is it conspiracy theory that somebody broke into an empty hospital when it's claimed all hospitals in the area were completely booked out, and then that person actually went to jail? No, it's not conspiracy theory. But the more you look into this, the more you see that eventually, I think a lot of these conspiracy theories will become conspiracy facts in a way. Not all of them. I'm not here to say, oh, every single thing you've ever heard is a fact, but I'm saying that a lot of the things, there are people behind the scenes. You can look at someone like Bill Gates. Ooh, such a little angel he is, right? He's like doing this great work, this philanthropy work. He's getting these vaccines made. These vaccines are going to be super healthy, right? No, that's not what's going to happen. Us as a people, I think, will be smart enough not to necessarily let that happen. However, it's interesting because there's people that they also may be puppets as well. That's the interesting thing as well. Like a lot of these elitist people, whether it's someone like Bill Gates who has these vaccines that we think are going to be extremely healthy, which they would not be. That sounds conspiracy theory, right? People are like, what are you talking about? He's a philanthropist. No. If you do your own, the thing I recommend here is to do your own research on a lot of this. But there's a level of control, and there's certain agendas going around, and there's certain agendas that have to do with, let's say there was some type of 5G technology that then was connected around the grid of the planet, and then let's say that people, when you look at what's happening, what happens is there's people that say, well, what could we do to get people to want to be to say yes to vaccinations? Well, if we were to instill fear and anger into them, have them in a low vibe, have them scared to even leave their houses, we could then tell them that here's the solution, some type of vaccine, and when you do this, then you feel safe, right? So then everyone's asking for the thing. Well, okay, let's install this thing, which you know what that is. Let's put this thing out into society and put everyone into that fear, and then they're going to be open to this kind of thing. And then here you go with this angelic angel Bill Gates coming through, shining armor, saying, I will donate all of this money towards that, and go through with that, not knowing that could be different types of technology inside these vaccines that then make it so that every single person that takes that is then easily able to be controlled, activate certain genes within them, have a certain way of controlling the population. So I don't think it's going to happen though. And even as I share this with you right now, even as I share that stuff, it may seem kind of fearful. I'm just more aware of it, but it's not the joy, peace, love, and enlightenment. Maybe there wouldn't even be a recognition of it. But when we look at that, when we look at conspiracy theories in general, the low vibe would be, oh my goodness, all of these things happening. Oh, this thing with Bill Gates. Oh my goodness, it's so fearful. I'm so angry. Blame. He's such an evil person. Now, there could be an awareness in maybe the mid-level, which is like, that's not a good thing, which is kind of where I'm explaining it, you know. This is not a good thing. But at the deepest level, here's the difference. One is fear, blame, and projecting that energy out, which actually feeds the old paradigm. It actually gives the elite people power in a way. And from a different perspective, we could have the level where we're just aware. We're aware that it's happening, but we're not feeding it emotionally. It's just an awareness. Now, the highest level is we realize that we're all connected. So in a way, when we look at reality, we're all here right now, going through the process of remembering who we are. That's what we call the Great Awakening. And we're remembering that we are eternal spiritual beings of temporary human experiences. And one of the things that happens is we split off into different roles here. Some of the roles were the good guys, some of the roles were the bad guys. Maybe the bad guys are playing out certain karma. But there's an awareness there that we're all at the deepest level connected. So even these people that are doing horrible things, somebody like Bill Gates with his vaccines, with the intentions that he has, with the agenda that he's pulling out, and like I said, a lot of these people, a lot of these celebrities that may be a part of this elite type conspiracy thing that we may eventually find out is true, a lot of them are just playing out, just doing things they are told they have to do. So I'm not saying it makes it right. It's still not a great thing at all, but just understand as well that maybe they're not the geniuses behind all of this stuff. Maybe they are just so deep into something very dark and they just don't have a choice. The reason I share that is because then it helps us have a little bit more compassion and understanding. I try to, it's hard to think of some of the very, 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 very dark things that some of these elite people do when it comes to the stuff that's been finding out in Hollywood or with the Epstein thing. It's unfathomable to think of, and I've tried to I'm like, how do I? But realizing that it's a power-hungry thing. It's very dark, but at the same time, we're learning to take our power back. We're learning to say that that's not okay anymore in the collective consciousness. So when we talk about the Great Awakening, this amazing awakening that's happening on the planet, it's about understanding that we're going to become more and more aware, but there's different levels to it of awareness to where we don't have to get sucked into the negativity, the anger, the blame. We could be in a mid-level of understanding and having an intellectual understanding of what's going on, being aware, being able to neutralize it and observe it. And then the highest levels of joy, love, peace, and enlightenment, knowing we're all connected. Even the people doing these very, very, very dark things, they're bringing out of the collective consciousness. That's what this fear going on in the world is right now as well. It's bringing out this energy for us to facilitate and let go of. So it's super powerful time we live live in right now, there's these different levels. I choose to be in more of awareness, observation, neutrality, and the thing that I encourage you to do is to focus on raising your vibration. If you didn't know as well, I have you go to something called whatsmyvibration.com, or click the link in the top description box below. It's a survey that calibrates your vibration so you know in the form of an archetype where you are, plus you get meditation specifically designed to get you to the next level. That's one of the best things you can do right now, is to raise your own vibration, because as you do that, that raises the vibration of the planet. Let me know if you want me to make more videos on the Great Awakening as well. I've been making more of them lately. Let me know if you like them, if you're interested in them. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, peace, much love, and namaste.